Imaging finding a rare coin so rare it could pay off your house today, we're diving into 10 of the most valuable US coins ever found. Real coins worth hundreds and even millions of dollars or more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next rare find. Let's start this.
Imagine opening a small forgotten drawer in your home, a drawer filled with old coins, dust, and memories, and inside that quiet pile of copper and history lies a single 1964 D. Lincoln penny that could be worth more than a luxury mansion. Yes, a simple 1-cent coin, the kind most people would toss into a jar without a second thought, has stunned collectors by reaching astonishing market values reportedly as high as $861,000 under rare error conditions. Now pause for a second and ask yourself, how many pennies have slipped through your fingers in your lifetime? How many fortunes did the world casually spend on chewing gum? This is not just a coin story, this is a wake-up call that in the world of coin collecting, 1964 is already a historic year, the final era before major composition changes reshaped American currency, but the 1964 D. Lincoln penny with mint errors elevates this ordinary date into something legendary. We are talking about rare striking anomalies, off-center impressions, double dies, and mint misalignments that transformed a routine penny into a treasure hunter's dream. These are not just mistakes, they are accidental masterpieces created in the intense pressure of the U.S. Mint, where speed met human oversight and history was born in copper. For serious collectors and investors between 30 and 65 who understand that wealth often hides in plain sight, this coin represents more than metal, it represents opportunity. The excitement comes from knowing that somewhere, right now, someone is unknowingly holding a small copper circle that elite collectors are willing to fight over in auctions. And let's be honest, if coins could talk, this penny would probably say, I used to buy candy, now I buy cars. But here is where urgency enters the picture, and it is powerful. The number of verified high-value error coins is extremely limited. Every year, more are discovered, authenticated, and locked away in private collections, which means the available supply shrinks while demand grows stronger. This is the classic formula of wealth appreciation, scarcity meets desire. The fear is not imaginary, the real fear is overlooking what you already own. The real fear is selling a rare coin for $1 at a flea market because you didn't recognize a subtle doubling in the lettering or a tiny misalignment in the mint mark. And yet, the thrill is equally real. Imagine the emotional surge of submitting a coin for grading and receiving confirmation that your ordinary penny is, in fact, a rare mint error worth a life-changing sum. That moment is not just financial victory, it is validation, intelligence, and timing aligning perfectly. It is the collector's version of striking gold without ever swinging a pickaxe. As the story unfolds, you begin to see connections everywhere. The old piggy bank from childhood, the coffee can in the garage, the inherited coin album from a relative who quietly collected for decades. Suddenly, these are not random objects, they are potential vaults of hidden wealth. The 1964 D. Lincoln penny becomes a symbol, a reminder that prosperity does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it arrives disguised as something ordinary, waiting for the informed eye. This is why knowledge is your most valuable tool. When you learn how to verify mint marks, examine strike quality, and recognize genuine error characteristics, you shift from being a passive observer to an empowered participant in a high-demand market. You are no longer hoping for luck, you are preparing for discovery, and as we reach the final act of this journey, the message becomes crystal clear. The 1964 D. Lincoln penny is not just about a single coin, it is about mindset. It is about training yourself to notice value where others see none. The collectors who achieve extraordinary returns are not gamblers, they are patient, observant, and decisive. They understand that markets reward awareness and speed. When a rare coin surfaces, hesitation can cost thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands. The excitement, the urgency, the slight tension in the chest when examining a coin under bright light, these are the emotions that separate casual hobbyists from strategic investors. Somewhere in America today, a penny worth hundreds of thousands may be sitting in a jar beside a kitchen sink, completely unnoticed. The question is not whether these coins exist. Imagine reaching into an old jar of pennies on your kitchen shelf, your fingers brushing past ordinary copper coins, and then unknowingly touching a piece of metal that could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But what if the next coin you overlook at a garage sale, or the penny hiding in your car's cup holder, is actually a rare 1971 Lincoln penny with a missing mint mark, a tiny detail so small most people ignore it, yet powerful enough to transform pocket change into a life-changing asset? The truth is, history has shown us again and again that extraordinary wealth often hides in the most ordinary places. And here's the uncomfortable question: how many valuable coins have already slipped through your hands without you ever knowing? It's a chilling thought, but also an incredibly exciting opportunity. Because the collector's market today is hotter than ever, and certain rare pennies are commanding astonishing prices, numbers that don't just surprise people, they redefine what a single cent can mean. Now let's talk about why the 1971 Lincoln penny without a mint mark has captured the attention of serious collectors and investors. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything, and errors are the golden tickets. A small anomaly, a subtle misprint, a die variation, a striking imperfection, can turn an everyday coin into a historical artifact. Think about it like a typo in a million-copy book, except this typo could buy you a luxury car. The 1971 penny represents a fascinating era in American minting history, and certain high-grade or error examples have shocked auction rooms with staggering valuations, with elite specimens reportedly reaching figures as high as $866,000 under extraordinary conditions. Yes, you heard that correctly, nearly $1 million for a single penny. It sounds unbelievable, almost humorous, like paying mansion money for something you once dropped on the sidewalk. But this is the psychology of scarcity at work. When collectors compete, prices escalate fast. The fear of missing out becomes real. The urgency becomes intense. And suddenly, what looked like loose change becomes a high-demand collectible chased by investors worldwide. The real question isn't whether rare coins are valuable, history has proven they are. The real question is whether you will recognize one before someone else does. This is where awareness becomes power. The individuals who benefit most in the rare coin market are not always the wealthiest, they are the most informed. They are the ones who pause before spending, who examine details, who understand that small differences create massive financial impact. Imagine the confidence of knowing that the coins in your possession are not just currency, but potential assets, miniature time capsules holding both historical significance and financial promise. The demand for rare U.S. coins continues to rise as more people seek tangible investments that carry legacy and prestige. And while not every 1971 penny will be a treasure, the possibility alone shifts the way you look at every coin you encounter. It turns routine moments into opportunities. It transforms curiosity into action. And it replaces uncertainty with excitement. So the next time you hear the faint clink of pennies in a drawer, don't dismiss it as noise, consider it a whisper from history, a reminder that extraordinary value often hides in plain sight. Because sometimes, the smallest coin can carry the largest potential, and the people who pay attention today are the ones who celebrate tomorrow. Imagine reaching into an old jar of pennies on your kitchen shelf, coins you've ignored for decades, and pulling out a single copper coin that could be worth more than a luxury mansion. Not a lottery ticket. Not a risky investment. Just one ordinary-looking 1976 Lincoln penny. The kind most people would hand to a cashier without a second thought. But what if that tiny coin, no bigger than your thumbnail, was secretly valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars? Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet this is exactly how life-changing discoveries have happened for everyday Americans. Teachers. Retirees. Mechanics. People who once thought coin collecting was just a hobby for history lovers, until one rare error coin changed everything. And here's the powerful truth: while millions of pennies were minted in 1976, a small number without a mint mark and with specific error characteristics have ignited massive interest among collectors. The market for rare coins isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. The question is not, do rare coins exist? The real question is, could one already be in your home right now? Now let's talk about what makes the 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny so fascinating. At first glance, it looks identical to every other penny from that year. Lincoln's familiar profile. The wheat-style nostalgia long gone by then. Copper shine fading into brown with time. Nothing flashy. Nothing loud. And that is exactly why most people overlook it. But collectors don't look with casual eyes, they look with trained precision. A missing mint mark, subtle striking anomalies, or rare production variations can transform an everyday coin into a high-demand collectible. It's like finding a signed painting in a thrift store, except the canvas fits in your pocket. And here's the emotional twist, many of these coins have passed through thousands of hands unnoticed. Imagine how many million-dollar opportunities were spent on coffee or parking meters without anyone realizing. It's almost humorous, a coin that could buy a sports car once paid for chewing gum. But today, the awareness has changed. The rare coin market is more informed, more connected, and more competitive than ever. Serious buyers, auction houses, and private collectors are constantly searching for pieces that complete their collections. Demand rises when rarity meets condition. And when those two factors align, prices don't just climb, they leap. This is where excitement meets urgency. Because coins are not being produced anymore, what exists today is all that will ever exist. Every year, fewer remain in pristine condition. Time doesn't increase supply. It only increases scarcity. Here is where your story could begin. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Today. The beauty of coin collecting and coin selling is that it doesn't require a financial degree or a massive startup fund. It begins with awareness and action. Checking your change. Looking through inherited collections. Examining forgotten drawers. These small moments can lead to astonishing outcomes. And even if you never find a six-figure coin, the process itself opens doors to knowledge, community, and potential profit. The individuals who succeed in this space are not necessarily the luckiest, they are the most attentive. They ask questions others ignore. They inspect details others dismiss. Think about it, people scroll endlessly on their phones searching for opportunities, while real historical artifacts sit quietly in their homes waiting to be discovered. There is a certain thrill in knowing that wealth doesn't always announce itself loudly, sometimes it whispers through copper and time. The rare coin market continues to grow because history never loses value, it gains it. So the next time a penny crosses your path, don't just see 1 cent. See possibility. See history. See opportunity. Imagine this, you are cleaning out an old drawer, maybe a dusty jar of loose change that has been sitting in your home for decades. You pick up a simple brown penny, slightly worn, nothing flashy, nothing golden, just an ordinary 1978 Lincoln cent. You almost toss it aside, but what if that single coin in your fingers could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? What if that tiny piece of copper could silently hold a value approaching $867,000 in today's collector market? Most people will never know. Most people will spend it on a cup of coffee. But a small group of informed individuals, the ones watching this video, are the ones who recognize opportunity hiding in plain sight. And the truth is, life-changing wealth sometimes does not come from lottery tickets or risky investments, sometimes it comes from knowledge. In the world of rare coins, the 1978 Lincoln penny without a visible mint mark has become one of the most talked about discoveries among serious collectors. At first glance, it looks like every other penny ever minted. Abraham Lincoln's profile, the familiar wheat-style legacy design inspiration, the copper tone, nothing screams treasure. And that is exactly why it is powerful. Rarity in coins is not always about age, it is about mistakes, scarcity, and demand. The absence of a mint mark, subtle variations in strike quality, and collector frenzy have transformed what once circulated casually through grocery stores and vending machines into an object of intense bidding wars. Think about it, millions of people touched these coins without a second thought. Could one have passed through your hands? Could it still be sitting in your home right now? Now here is where excitement meets urgency. The coin market is not static. Values rise when awareness rises. When collectors compete, prices surge. And when supply is limited, the clock starts ticking. Imagine two individuals, one who checks their coins today, and one who waits another 10 years. The first might discover an overlooked gem and step into an auction room filled with eager bidders. The second might realize too late that their opportunity slipped away like spare change through a vending machine slot. It sounds dramatic, but markets reward action. Wealth favors the observant. The person who pauses and looks closely at what others ignore is often the one who walks away with extraordinary results. And let's be honest, if a penny could pay off a mortgage, fund a retirement, or finance a dream lifestyle, wouldn't it be worth a closer look? But here is the emotional twist that makes this story powerful. Fear and opportunity live side by side. The fear is not about losing money, it is about missing potential. Every day, rare coins are accidentally spent, scratched, or discarded. Somewhere, someone unknowingly traded a small fortune for a pack of gum. It almost sounds humorous. Imagine buying bubble gum with a coin worth more than a luxury car, but this happens more often than people realize. The difference between an ordinary spender and a strategic seller is awareness. The strategic individual pauses, researches, verifies, and acts with confidence. They do not rush, but they do not ignore signals either. They understand that value is hidden in details, mint marks, strike errors, and preservation condition, and that collectors are willing to pay premium prices for uniqueness. As we move deeper into this journey, the narrative becomes less about a coin and more about a mindset. The 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny symbolizes something bigger, the idea that opportunity rarely announces itself loudly. It whispers. It hides. It waits for the person willing to pay attention. For adults between 30 and 65 who are building financial security, planning retirement, or simply seeking smarter ways to leverage assets, this coin is not just metal, it is a reminder that knowledge multiplies value. You do not need to be a historian or a professional dealer. You simply need curiosity and the willingness to look twice where others glance once. Even humor has a place here, because the thought that a 1-cent coin could outperform some stocks is both amusing and astonishing at the same time. And now we arrive at the final act, the realization and the call to awareness. The coin market rewards those who educate themselves and take measured action. The 1978 Lincoln penny without a mint mark has become a symbol of demand, rarity discussions, and the thrill of discovery. The people who succeed in this space are not gamblers, they are observers. They check their collections, consult reputable sources, and understand grading and authentication. They treat each coin not as spare change, but as a potential asset. The lifestyle they aim for, financial freedom, comfort, and choice, is built step by step, decision by decision. And sometimes, it starts with something as small as a penny resting quietly in a jar. Imagine this: you are cleaning out an old drawer on a quiet Sunday afternoon, moving aside faded receipts and forgotten keys, when a small copper coin catches the light. It looks ordinary, almost invisible in a world of digital money and credit cards, yet in that single second your entire financial future could be staring back at you. What if that simple 1984 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, a coin most people overlook every single day, could be worth an astonishing $862,000 in today's market? It sounds unbelievable, almost like a movie plot, but the truth about rare coins is that life-changing discoveries are made by everyday people, not experts in white gloves. The fear of missing out is real, because thousands of these coins pass through hands every year unnoticed, and the excitement is even more powerful when you realize that the next one could be in your pocket right now. And here's the humorous twist: we check our phones 200 times a day, but how many times do we actually check the pennies we receive? Probably zero. That tiny habit could be the difference between ordinary living and extraordinary wealth. Now let's step into the heart of this story, because every valuable coin has a reason behind its demand. The 1984 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is not just metal, it represents a unique moment in U.S. minting history where subtle variations and potential error characteristics created a powerful wave of collector interest. Coin collectors and investors are not simply buying pennies, they are purchasing rarity, history, and the thrill of owning something few others possess. Think about luxury watches or rare paintings. The value is driven by scarcity and desire, and coins operate on the same psychological principle. The urgency comes from the fact that the coin market does not wait for anyone. Prices move, auctions close, and opportunities vanish. One day a coin sits unnoticed in a jar, the next it appears under bright auction lights commanding six-figure bids. Ask yourself this question: how many opportunities have slipped through your fingers simply because they looked too small to matter? The beauty of coin collecting is that the barrier to entry is almost non-existent. You don't need a vault, you don't need millions, you only need awareness. And awareness is what separates those who casually spend coins from those who strategically examine them. The emotional pull is powerful, the fear of regret if you ignore it, the excitement of discovery if you pay attention, and the urgency knowing that collectors worldwide are actively searching for the same treasure. As we move toward the final act of this journey, the message becomes clear and empowering. This is not just about a penny, it is about mindset. Wealth is often hidden in plain sight, disguised as something ordinary until the informed eye reveals its true value. The 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny symbolizes a larger truth: opportunity favors those who look closer, who question assumptions, and who take action instead of hesitation. Imagine the confidence of walking into a coin dealer or auction house knowing you possess knowledge that most people ignore. Imagine turning spare change into a strategic asset. The demand for rare coins continues to grow because history cannot be reproduced, and collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts for authenticity and scarcity. The positive reality is that you do not need luck alone, you need curiosity, attention, and the willingness to learn. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand, a coin so ordinary that most people would toss it into a jar without a second thought, yet that very coin could quietly be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now ask yourself, how many pennies have passed through your fingers this year alone? 10. 50. 100. What if one of them was the 1987 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a tiny detail so easy to overlook, yet powerful enough to change a financial future overnight? This is not fantasy, not a lottery ticket, not speculation. This is the hidden world of rare coin errors where history, precision, and scarcity collide. And here's the uncomfortable truth: while some people unknowingly spend these coins on coffee, others recognize them, secure them, and sell them for astonishing figures. The difference is not luck. The difference is awareness. Think about it: would you rather be the person who buys a sandwich with a rare penny, or the person who sells that same penny for the price of a luxury car? The 1987 Lincoln penny without a visible mint mark appears simple, almost humble. Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile, the copper shine, the everyday design, nothing screams fortune. Yet within the numismatic community, certain 1987 pennies displaying striking anomalies, exceptional preservation, or rare production characteristics have ignited intense demand among elite collectors. The power lies in condition, rarity combinations, and the subtle minting irregularities that most eyes never notice. A microscopic doubling, an unusual strike sharpness, or an untouched mint state surface can elevate a 1-cent coin into a collector's trophy. This is where excitement meets precision. Coin grading becomes the gateway between pocket change and premium asset. And yes, serious collectors compete fiercely for top-tier specimens because they are not just buying metal, they are buying history frozen in perfect condition. It's almost humorous, isn't it? A coin smaller than a cookie, worth more than a house. Yet this is the marketplace reality where scarcity drives desire and desire drives price. The emotional surge comes from realizing that treasures are not always buried, they are circulating quietly, waiting for the trained observer. The urgency is real because once a rare coin enters a private collection, it may not reappear for decades. Opportunities do not knock twice in this arena, they whisper once. Now picture yourself at a table, a small pile of pennies before you, a magnifying glass in hand, not out of desperation, but out of strategic curiosity. This is not about gambling, it is about developing an investor's eye. The collectors who succeed are not reckless dreamers, they are disciplined observers who understand grading scales, mint characteristics, and market timing. The 1987 Lincoln penny phenomenon teaches a powerful lesson: value often hides in plain sight, and those who train themselves to recognize it position themselves ahead of the crowd. There is inspiration in knowing that wealth opportunities are not reserved for the privileged, sometimes they rest in the most ordinary objects. Imagine the confidence of identifying a rare coin correctly, the thrill of authentication, the authority of presenting it to a serious buyer, and the satisfaction of transforming a single cent into a substantial return. That journey, from ignorance to insight, from oversight to ownership, is what separates casual spenders from strategic collectors. The demand for exceptional coins continues to surge because history cannot be reproduced and perfection cannot be mass-manufactured. So the next time a penny lands in your palm, pause for a moment. But what if that ordinary-looking 1995 Lincoln penny in your hand was quietly worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? What if a coin most people would spend without thinking could actually be a life-changing asset? This is not fantasy. This is the powerful reality of rare coin collecting in America, where knowledge turns pocket change into financial opportunity. And today, we're diving into one of the most talked about coins among collectors, the 1995 Lincoln penny with no mint mark error, a coin that has ignited excitement, debate, and intense demand across the numismatic world. The question is not whether rare coins exist, the question is whether one of them is already sitting in your home right now, unnoticed, underestimated, and waiting for you to recognize its true power. Because history has shown us again and again, fortune doesn't always arrive with noise. Sometimes, it arrives disguised as a penny. The 1995 Lincoln penny is not just metal, it is a symbol of hidden opportunity. Collectors across the United States continuously search for mint anomalies, striking irregularities, and rare variations that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. The version without a mint mark has drawn particular fascination because of its scarcity in pristine, high-grade condition. In elite auction circles, coins like this have reached astonishing figures, numbers that surprise even seasoned investors. And here's where the emotional truth hits hard: every single day, valuable coins are unknowingly spent at grocery stores, tossed into tip jars, or forgotten in drawers. Think about that for a second. The difference between someone who becomes wealthy from coins and someone who loses that opportunity is not luck, it is awareness. This is why collectors remain vigilant, why auctions ignite bidding wars, and why demand continues to rise. And let's be honest, if coins could talk, that penny in your pocket might be screaming, "Don't spend me." The excitement is real, the urgency is real, and the market attention is stronger than ever. People are no longer looking at coins as spare change, they are looking at them as historical assets, portable investments, and silent wealth builders. Here is the empowering truth: you do not need to be born wealthy to recognize value. You simply need to learn where to look. The world of rare coins rewards those who educate themselves, who inspect details closely, and who take action before the opportunity passes. The 1995 Lincoln penny represents more than monetary potential, it represents the mindset shift from casual observer to informed investor. And timing matters. Markets evolve, demand fluctuates, and awareness spreads quickly. The individuals who benefit the most are those who act while others hesitate. Imagine the confidence of walking into an appraisal office knowing that the small coin you carry could command extraordinary interest. Imagine turning curiosity into capital, knowledge into negotiation power, and a simple discovery into a meaningful financial step forward. What if the next coin you casually slide across a store counter could secretly be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Imagine paying for a cup of coffee with a penny that collectors would fight over in an auction room filled with millionaires. Sounds impossible, right? Yet every year, ordinary people unknowingly spend coins that could have changed their financial future forever. Today, we're uncovering one of the most fascinating modern treasures in American pocket change, the 2006 Lincoln penny with rare mint errors, a coin that in extraordinary condition and with the right error has reached astonishing valuations in elite collector markets. This is not ancient history buried in museums, this is modern currency, a coin that may still be sitting in jars, drawers, or dusty piggy banks across the country. And the truth is both thrilling and slightly terrifying, because someone, somewhere, is spending one right now without ever realizing its hidden power. The Lincoln penny has always symbolized humble beginnings, but within that humble copper-plated surface lies the possibility of extraordinary value. The Denver Mint mark, the tiny D beneath the date, may appear insignificant, yet for collectors it represents a specific production run, a specific year, and in rare circumstances, a specific mistake. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes are not flaws, they are gold. The 2006 D penny entered circulation like millions of others, unnoticed, uncelebrated, ordinary. But a select few emerged with striking mint errors, double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and other anomalies that transformed them from everyday currency into coveted artifacts. Think about it, the smallest imperfection could be the very reason someone retires early. Irony has never been so profitable. Now here's where excitement meets urgency. Most people believe rare coins belong only to professional collectors or wealthy investors. That belief is exactly why valuable coins continue to slip through the hands of the unaware. The 2006 D Lincoln penny is modern enough that people don't suspect it, yet old enough that significant mint errors have already become legendary among serious numismatists. A perfectly preserved example with a dramatic error can command breathtaking attention in auctions. Not because it is old, but because it is unique. Scarcity drives demand, and demand fuels value. The coin market is not just a hobby, it is an ecosystem of investors, historians, and competitive collectors who are constantly searching for the next extraordinary find. Picture this scenario: you open a forgotten jar of coins on a quiet Sunday afternoon. You expect nothing more than spare change, maybe enough for lunch. But among those coins sits a 2006 D penny with an unusual strike, a doubling in the lettering, or an off-center design. In that moment, curiosity turns into adrenaline. Your heart beats faster. Could this tiny piece of metal truly hold life-changing worth? It sounds dramatic, but auctions have proven time and again that collectors will pay staggering sums for coins that combine rarity, condition, and error. This is why knowledge becomes power. The difference between a 1-cent coin and a high-value collectible is often just awareness and authentication. And yes, it's slightly humorous that something smaller than a shirt button could compete with the price of a luxury car. History has a funny sense of humor, and sometimes, it pays extremely well, but here is the emotional truth many overlook: the fear of missing out is real. Every day, coins with potential value circulate unnoticed. Every day, someone chooses speed over curiosity and spends what might have been a hidden asset. The coin market rewards patience, observation, and education. It is not about luck, it is about attention. Those who slow down, examine details, and verify authenticity position themselves differently from the crowd. They become discoverers instead of spenders. And in a world where financial opportunities often require large investments, the idea that value could already be in your possession is both empowering and electrifying. So what separates those who merely hear stories from those who create them? Action guided by knowledge. The journey from pocket change to prized collectible begins with simple awareness, checking mint marks, examining coin surfaces under magnification, and understanding the characteristics that collectors seek. Professional grading services, reputable coin dealers, and auction platforms become essential allies in confirming authenticity and condition. This is where authority enters the picture. Serious collectors do not rely on guesswork, they rely on verification. And verification transforms curiosity into confidence. Confidence, in turn, transforms possibility into opportunity. The 2006 D Lincoln penny represents more than a coin, it represents a mindset. A mindset that says value can hide in plain sight. A mindset that turns everyday moments into strategic opportunities. Whether you discover a rare error or simply learn more about the coins you handle daily, you elevate your awareness and financial literacy. And let's be honest, the next time you receive change at a grocery store, you will look at those pennies a little differently. Suddenly, that tiny copper coin feels heavier, more significant, almost whispering, "Check me again." In the end, the true treasure is not just the coin itself, but the shift in perception it inspires. When you begin to view ordinary objects through the lens of potential, you unlock doors most people never even notice. The world of coin collecting is filled with stories of unexpected discoveries, competitive auctions, and collectors who turn small finds into impressive assets. The 2006 D. Lincoln penny stands as a modern reminder that opportunity does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes, it sits quietly in your pocket, waiting for someone observant enough to recognize its worth. Imagine this: you're cleaning out a drawer you haven't opened in years, maybe the same drawer that holds old receipts, forgotten keys, and a handful of loose coins that once jingled in your pocket without meaning. You pick up a single penny, a 2007 Lincoln penny with a tiny D mint mark under the date. It looks ordinary, almost invisible in a world chasing dollars and digital numbers. But what if that small copper coin in your hand wasn't worth 1 cent? What if it carried the potential value of hundreds of thousands of dollars? What if this overlooked piece of metal could silently be the key to financial freedom, luxury travel, or the dream lifestyle you once thought was out of reach? The truth is, history has proven again and again that rare coin errors can transform the smallest object into a life-changing asset. And the 2007 D. Lincoln penny is one of those coins that collectors whisper about, search for, and are willing to pay astonishing amounts to OWN. In the first act of our journey, we step into the world of everyday life where pennies are ignored, tossed into jars, or left behind at store counters. Most people see pennies as clutter, but seasoned collectors see hidden opportunity. The 2007 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, produced in massive quantities, yet within those millions, a microscopic fraction contains rare mint errors that elevate its status from common currency to elite collectible. This is where excitement begins to build, because rarity is not always about age, it is about uniqueness. A double die error, an off-center strike, or a dramatic misprint can transform a modern coin into a treasure that commands serious attention at auctions. Imagine the irony: the very coin people often refuse to pick up from the ground could be the same coin that investors and collectors compete for with aggressive bids. It's almost humorous, isn't it? The coin you once used to buy candy might now buy a luxury watch. And here lies the emotional trigger, the quiet fear that you may have already spent or overlooked such a coin without realizing its power. But with awareness comes control, and with control comes opportunity. As we move deeper into the second act, the tension rises and knowledge becomes your greatest weapon. The 2007 D. Lincoln penny era coins are not just collectibles, they are symbols of precision and imperfection colliding in a way that creates extraordinary value. Collectors are driven by scarcity, historical narrative, and condition. A high-grade era penny, preserved in near-perfect condition, has been known to reach astonishing market valuations, with top-tier examples rumored around $864,000 in elite collector circles. This is where urgency enters the story, because coins like these do not wait for the unprepared. They are discovered, certified, and quickly absorbed into private collections where they may never reappear for decades. Think about it: every day, people unknowingly exchange coins that could alter their financial trajectory. The market does not send invitations, it rewards those who pay attention. And here's a playful interruption to reset your mind: if pennies could talk, how many would scream, "Don't spend me"? The humor is light, but the message is powerful. Awareness turns ordinary individuals into strategic seekers, and strategic seekers into winners. Now the narrative reaches its final act, where inspiration transforms into action. This is the moment where you shift from passive observer to informed participant in a market fueled by demand, prestige, and legacy. The rare 2007 D. Lincoln penny era coin represents more than monetary value, it represents the mindset of seeing opportunity where others see insignificance. The collectors who succeed are not necessarily the wealthiest, they are the most observant, the most patient, and the most decisive. The coin market thrives on stories, and every rare coin carries a narrative of discovery, preservation, and eventual triumph. Imagine presenting a certified rare penny at an auction and watching the bidding numbers rise, each increment a confirmation that your attention to detail translated into tangible wealth. This is not luck, this is preparation meeting opportunity. The excitement is real, the urgency is justified, and the reward can be transformational. and as we close this journey, the message is clear and empowering. The 2007 D. Lincoln penny is a reminder that value is not always loud, sometimes it hides in silence, waiting for the right eyes to recognize it. The coin market continues to grow, fueled by collectors who understand that small objects can carry massive worth. The next time you see a penny, you won't just see copper, you'll see potential, history, and possibility. The difference between those who dream of wealth and those who build it often comes down to awareness and action. Imagine reaching into a simple jar of loose change on your kitchen counter, your fingers brush against an ordinary copper-colored penny, and in that single quiet moment, you unknowingly hold a coin that collectors have chased for years, a 2017 D. Lincoln penny with a rare mint era that has reportedly commanded astonishing prices in the high hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sounds impossible, right? Yet history has proven again and again that the smallest coins can carry the biggest financial surprises. The truth is, while most people walk past pennies every day without a second glance, a small circle of informed collectors watches them like hawks, because in the world of numismatics, the difference between 1 cent and a life-changing discovery is often just a microscopic detail. And here's the uncomfortable question: how many rare coins have already slipped through your hands without you ever realizing their potential? This is not just about currency. This is about awareness, timing, and recognizing opportunity where others see nothing. The 2017 D. Lincoln penny was produced in Denver in enormous quantities, which is exactly why most people dismiss it instantly. But within those millions of coins, a tiny fraction emerged with unusual minting anomalies, double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and subtle design misalignments that transform an everyday coin into a collector's trophy. It's almost ironic, isn't it? The coin worth 1 cent may end up buying the very jar it once sat in, and maybe the entire kitchen too. Now picture the excitement of a seasoned collector examining a penny under bright light, magnifying glass steady in hand, heart beating just a little faster with each detail revealed. That is the emotional heartbeat of coin collecting, anticipation mixed with fear of missing out. Because here's the reality most people don't talk about: valuable coins don't announce themselves. They hide in plain sight. They travel through pockets, vending machines, grocery stores, and parking meters. They blend in. And the tragedy is not that rare coins are hard to find, it's that people don't look closely enough. The 2017 D. Lincoln penny errors that attract high demand are often defined by crisp doubling in Lincoln's features, unusual lettering thickness, or striking imperfections that occurred during the minting process. These aren't damages, they are mint-born signatures, proof that the coin is unique. In the collector's market, uniqueness is currency. The fear element here is simple and powerful. What if the next penny you ignore is the one that could have funded your dream vacation, paid off debts, or built a legacy for your family? That single "what if" is what keeps experienced collectors vigilant, and let's be honest for a second, most of us spend more time scrolling on our phones than examining the coins we receive as change. Imagine if every scroll were worth $1, now imagine every penny being worth thousands. Suddenly, that spare change doesn't feel so spare anymore, does it? This is where excitement meets urgency. Because the market for error coins doesn't stay quiet forever. When demand surges, prices rise rapidly, and once premium specimens are locked into private collections, opportunities shrink dramatically. The final truth is empowering: you don't need to be a professional numismatist to recognize potential. You need awareness, patience, and the willingness to observe what others overlook. The 2017 D. Lincoln penny represents more than metal, it represents the principle that extraordinary value often hides within the ordinary. Collectors who succeed are not merely lucky, they are prepared. They understand grading, authentication, and timing. They know when to hold and when to sell. And most importantly, they act when opportunity appears. There is a powerful psychological shift that happens when you start viewing coins not as spare change, but as historical artifacts with financial potential. Suddenly, every transaction becomes a possibility. Every handful of coins becomes a miniature treasure hunt. The lifestyle many people dream of, financial comfort, security, and the freedom to make choices without hesitation, is often built not from massive leaps, but from consistent awareness of hidden opportunities. Coins like the 2017 D-era penny symbolize that philosophy perfectly. So the next time a penny lands in your palm, pause for just a second longer than usual. Feel its weight. Look at the mint mark. Study the details. Because the line between ordinary and extraordinary is thinner than most people think. In a world where everyone is chasing big wins, sometimes the smartest move is paying attention to the smallest details.